Welcome to Cultured and Creative. My name is Kudzaigwaze and I'm a music producer. Today I'm going to be talking about something I really believe if artists know in the beginning of their careers, they would be more intentional with their art. For 20 years, I've been privileged to be a part of many artists' musical journeys, and the one thing that's common in all their origin stories is the influences that caused them to begin their journeys, but never how they think and view the world so they can relate to people better. The artist thinks it's their passion that makes them relatable, and yet it's how they view the world and how they consequently paint it for the listener to be able to view themselves in that painting. So today we're going to be talking about the artistic mind. What is it and how does it operate? The artistic mind, like our mind, makes sense of the world around it through the senses, and is housed in a body that you can feel, surrounded by emotions you can express, and social behaviors you can understand. Remember the influences in the origin stories, the aesthetics, the artistic movements, the styles, the intellectual engagement, the personal experiences. They affect the artistic mind. That's why sometimes people can get away with, I talk about my story, I talk about my pain, and people relate with that. And it sounds like you're actually in control of how you are letting people relate to what you're doing, but you are using something that you still do not have full control of how to intentionally use it to tell your story. It's not enough for the artist just to talk about personal experiences without understanding the environment they're in. That's where understanding the culture really is key and important. But it's not understanding just merely intellectually understanding the culture or learning about it, but just sitting there and observing what's around you. Stay longer looking and observing what's happening, and you begin to see patterns emerge, habits form, and things that you naturally didn't observe. You begin to make sense, or they begin to be so clear in your mind that you're convinced that there's something there, and then you start digging to understand if there's anything behind or that causes that, or you can put yourself in the middle of that and then start finding out what this all means. So all this being said, your understanding of culture, not only your culture, but the different cultures that surround you, is important. The artistic mind's eye is visuality. And with this, the artist begins to be able to put words to the imaginations, to the thoughts, to the ideas, to the expectations, to the fantasies, seeing the problems that need solutions of the world that is around him, that just silently is passing by, seemingly unidentified, but desiring to have words, desiring to have a groove that would just affirm, confirm, or just make someone feel like they're not alone. That's how the artist now manages to intentionally be relatable. So this is what I believe the artist needs to be aware of in the beginning of their journey. So as they get feedback, they will intentionally know how to relate to the world around them as they go places. And the sky is the limit. Until next time, stay cultured, stay creative. Never stop growing, never stop learning, never stop creating, no matter how the world is changing around us.